Hey guys, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. This is going to be my spoiler-free reading vlog for Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Now this comes out on September 7th, so this is an ARC. It was sent to me by Harper, so thank you so much HarperVoyager for sending me this proof copy. I will not be able to reveal anything in this book, like no spoilers whatsoever, so this is going to be, you know, I don't know how this is going to go, to be honest, because you guys know me, right? I'm a little bit of a gobshite. But I'm going to do my absolute utmost best to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I do think it can happen. It will happen. It's going to have to happen, because I could probably get in trouble if I reveal anything. So let's not do that. Let's not get Gavin in trouble, okay? So for full clarity, I have not read a Jay Kristoff book before in my life. I have had my eye on this book, though, because I saw the cover of it and it's extremely pretty. It comes out on the 7th of September 2021 and it is about vampires, and I haven't read a really good vampire story in such a long time. So really, I'm so ready for a really good vampire story. I can't even remember what the last one I read was. I did read The Southern Vampire's Guide to Slaying... No, hang on. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, and I did like that one, but it didn't satiate my hunger for vampire. So, I mean, it's April, so it's not really like the time to read a vampire book, but you know what? We're going to read this anyway. So yeah, this is going to be my vlog for it. And I have my Snuggly support sprints. They're happening in less than an hour, I think. I should probably get ready for that. So I'm going to start reading this during those sprints. I have everything else sorted. I've edited and scheduled my videos for the entire week. This is all I've got to do for the next few days, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so ready. I mean, they're all little bits and bobs that I still need to do, but you know, it's not too strenuous. It's fine. So my attention is going to be on reading Empire of the Vampire. So do you want to know what it's about? I will let you know what it's about.
It has been 27 long years since the last sunrise. For nearly 3 decades, vampires have waged war against humanity, building their eternal empire even as they tear down our own. Now, only a few tiny sparks of light endure in a sea of darkness. Gabriel de Leon, half man, half monster, and last remaining Silver Saint, a sworn brother of the Holy Silver Order dedicated to defending the realm from the creatures of the night, is all that stands between the world and its end. Now imprisoned by the fairy monsters he vowed to destroy, the last Silver Saint is forced to tell his story. A story of legendary battles and forbidden love, of faith lost and friendships won, of the wars of the blood and the forever king, and the quest for humanity's last remaining hope, the Holy Grail.
I'm just trying to get that horrible, horrible taste of Den of Vipers out of my mouth. So I'm really excited. I'm so excited. It's going to be way better than the last book I read. So I'm already happy. So yeah, I'm going to go read this. I will give you little updates every now and then. I'm going to get all snuggly and all of that. You know, it's not really the kind of book I can snuggle to. But, and I will catch you at the support sprints. Mr. Kristoff sure loves to swear, doesn't he? Okay, so I am 150 pages into it. I am in the middle of book 2, so this book is, you know, split into books. So I finished book 1 during my sprints last night, and I'm now halfway through book 2. I did read a little bit more before I went to bed, and I was really tired. I would have stayed up and read more, but I was just so tired. Fell asleep, woke up this morning, got my coffee, and I am ready to dive back into this. So far, so good though. I am not wanting to put this down. Like, I thought I was going to struggle with this because, I mean, one, I'm not used to this length. You know me, I love my middle grade. But this is actually really, really interesting. Even though, like I say, I'm not going to do spoilers, It does, like, say on the back that it is Gabriel telling his story to a vampire called Jean Francois. But he is talking about his, like, family, and then he goes into talking about Day's death and what happened to him and his family during that, and it's so interesting. I really enjoyed that part, and it was only chapter 2 as well, so I was like, oh, this is pretty fast paced. Like, I'm finding out so much more about it, and it is told in a way, like, I've not read anything like this before. There probably are books like it where they're just talking through the story. Well, Gabriel's talking to Jean, but it's like he's telling the entire story to us, kind of thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. This is why I'm probably the worst person to read this. But I'm enjoying that aspect of it because I really like Gabriel's narrator voice. I do like how he approaches things, because when we get to book 2, it jumps like 11 years later. But even like Jean is like, hang on, like, can you not tell the story in order? And Gabriel's like, shut the fuck up, I'll tell the story how I want. And it's like, that's hilarious to me. I don't think that's a spoiler though. But like, yeah, it's jumped time into book 2. And I feel like maybe that's going to continue happening. Like, we're going to get jumped around the story as we move on. And I don't mind that. Usually I do, because I get confused. But because it's so interesting and it's building up towards like something, and something that Gabriel has to like reveal to Jean and, you know, the vampire. And I really like the atmosphere. It's like very dark, and I keep wanting to say like Bloodborne-esque, and I don't know why. Still early days in the book. I mean, I'm only that far in, so yeah, well, there's going to be so much more. I can't wait to dive back in, so I will. It's just going to be really hard not to say too much. The intrigue, it's keeping me reading. Don't want to put it down, so we are off to a really good start. Whew. I've just finished book 4 in this. So I'm like 412 pages in, something like that. And oh my gosh, at the end of book 4, it's a bloodbath. And I can't even really say too much about it. Just the fact that there's, you know, some confrontations. There's quite a lot of bloodshed. And I just wasn't expecting that. There's some revelations too that happen, not just at the end of book 4. I mean, there are still some at the end of book 4, but there's some even just before then about things. So yeah, I think I can tell you like the villain, like about like, well, I mean, there's a few villains because obviously like the vampires and things. So yeah, there's kind of like this race against time, because Gabriel has kind of joined this ragtag team of people who on it they feel very lifelike. I really, really like them. I love the banter that they have. They just like bounce well off each other, so they just so good. And like there's a couple of characters I really, really like. So I really like Astrid. Astrid is somebody who is like so strong. She is like a great match for Gabriel, like in wit, in banter. So again, like just banter. That's like my key word for this. With the characters is banter. And oh god, I should have got. I don't want to put it down. Like that's the thing. It's such a big book as well. Definitely over halfway now, and I have pretty much been reading like all day. I did take like a few hours break every here and there, but I've spent most of today reading. From page 150 to like 400. So I've read 250 pages in one day. Amazing. But that was pretty much most of my day. So I've still got quite a bit left. So I kind of wanted to finish it like tomorrow, but at the same time I might. But no, because I don't want to put it down is the problem. I don't really want to put it down. So I'll try and finish it tomorrow because I don't want to put it down. Well, after this update, I will probably edit this vlog up to now, and then, you know, if I'm not tired enough, I'll read in bed. But yeah, it's just like the world, the kind of setup, the mission, the characters. I'm just like really drawn in. I'm so drawn in. I love the aesthetic of it. It's so gothic and bloody. That's the best way to put it. I'm gonna continue reading. I'm good at I can't like tell you everything though. But I'm having such a fun time. I'm having such a fun time. Really enjoying the writing style. I'm really enjoying the way it's set out. Just having such a good time. This doesn't feel like a big book. It is a big book, and usually these kind of books intimidate me, but it's just I'm having such a blast. I'm having such a blast reading this. So sorry for being like such a weirdo with this update, but yeah, I'm kind of like I'm so scared of saying something and getting in trouble. But yeah, I'm gonna do something. Tis Wednesday night / Thursday morning because it's 1 a.m. and This is all I have left. Also, I just realised that this says uncorrected proof copy not for resale, quotation, or biting. That's hilarious. I'm not long come out of the bath, so my hair is drying really weird. I'm going to bed now anyway. I would continue reading on this because I do only have 110 pages left. I'm on page 602, so I'm on to the final book section of this book. And I am honestly loving it. I am finding it so exciting. Even during the moments when it's not as exciting, there's a lot of character exploration, I'm still feeling excited. And that's a feeling that's carried on throughout the book. There has been a lot of action, a lot of really violent parts of this book, and a lot of bloodshed. That's exactly what I kind of wanted from this, to be honest. I really wanted there to be a lot of gothicness, a lot of, darkness, and that's exactly what I'm getting from this. I say with, Elsa and Anna in the background there. This is just the aesthetic we need for this Empire of the Vampire vlog, isn't it? But yes, I'm on to the last stretch now. I really do care about characters. I am still so intrigued about things that are going on. I really do like the way that it is jumping timeline-wise, because you do get little parts of characters from each jump, and there's things that are revealed at different parts. That gives you a little bit of different context when you kind of go back to the previous kind of timeline thing. It's really hard to explain when, I'm being vague, but it is just, it's just, I love it. I think it's, I do, I love it. I mean, I'm sounding like real delirious right now. But yeah, my bedroom is a fucking tip right now. Look at this. Look at this. You just need to say my washing basket, don't you? You do. So yeah, I'm going to bed now. I'm going to get this video. I could just lie down in bed and read some more. I could. But I do check the chapters beforehand, and this chapter's a little bit long. So I'm like, maybe I won't. But what I've really enjoyed about this as well is that chapters aren't too long. I always find my problem with books this size is that chapters are too long. But actually, the chapters have been, they've been both short and a little bit long, but not overly long. And I've been enjoying that. I do like myself some shorter chapters. It's very fast-paced and all of that. So yeah, I will update you tomorrow, probably when I've finished it. So this will be the last random vague update. And then I'll give you one final vague update after this, I think. So I've now finished Empire of the Vampire. God. Oh, man. I didn't quite anticipate how much emotion this book would hold. I constantly had this feeling of dread the further along I was getting. In fact, I kept taking little breaks. I kept putting the book down every now and then just to catch my breath, because I was really, really worried. I was just really worried about what was going to happen. Oh God. How can I review this? Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I'm going to give this 5 stars. There's a lot that happens towards the end. But even then, okay, so there are a lot of action set pieces every here and there, and there's just not just action, but there's a lot of sort of slowed down moments between characters, and sometimes between a hero and a villain, although who is really a hero, and how would you define a hero, again, is a big question for this book. But a lot of interactions were just so good. Yeah, I didn't anticipate how it would go, and yeah, there were a few revelations towards the end too. Oh my gosh, I'm being so vague. Some of it took me by surprise, some of it not so much, but I think the vast majority of this, I just didn't know where it would go. So it did end up surprising me by the end, and I am... Oh gosh, yeah. At the start of this video, I said I hadn't read a good vampire story in such a long time. I feel like this is such a fantastic vampire story, but a little bit more than that too. It's a great kind of character study. The characters were just so good, and yeah, so real and funny, but also I really cared a lot about them. I really ended up caring about a lot of these characters. And I was just scared for them throughout, because, yeah, the vampires, the enemies, all of that, they are so formidable. And I had no idea how interactions would go. So I just, yeah, constant feeling of dread. That's how I would describe reading this book. Just a constant feeling of dread, but also like hugely enjoyable. It has all of the gothic and the doom that I was hoping for in this book. It gave me that in, bucketfuls. There's also just some like really great conversations about things that I can't say. I just can't say at all. Just whether I'm going to spoil it or not. I'm not going to say anything really, but I just felt like there was some great explorations into themes. Great exploration into themes. Well, let's just say, like, I felt like I could relate to some of the stuff that some of the characters go through. So I'm just kind of like a little bit gutted because well, yeah, it's over now, which means we're gonna have to wait God knows how long for the next one. And it's one of these books that is just so memorable. It isn't too jam-packed with, like, too much that would overwhelm you, because, you're speaking to me here. I'm, like, a noob at this kind of book, but, a lot of it's, like, kind of sticking with me in a good way, and it's just so memorable. It's filled with gorgeous set pieces and really likable characters, and just this has like a lot of emotion, but also it just it did satiate my hunger for that incredible kind of vampiric story that I feel like I've been missing my whole life, really. Is that all I can say about it? 5 stars. I don't know what else to say, but like, I want to do a full spoilery thing, but I can't do that, so I'm just gonna have to be as vague as I can and go in circles here, because again, I'm circling back to the fact that I just enjoyed this so much. I just had the best time reading this, and yeah. I'm just looking forward for this coming out now so that I can actually discuss it with people. So there's nothing more really to say about it. Yeah, oh god, yeah, there's nothing more I can say. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Please leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you have not already. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for Empire the Vampire, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!